are listening to a High Standard production.
All right, man. Welcome back to the Geekset podcast, the only podcast that blend hip-hop culture and geek culture together. I'm your boy Deuces in the building, and this is One-on-One with Deuces, where I speak with the content creators, actors, and people that you should know. And right now, man, I am speaking with a living legend. I'm telling you, somebody that I truly, truly appreciate their time. I appreciate their work. You know his voice. You've seen him in so many things. I'm speaking with the amazing, talented Gary Williams, or I call you full name, Gary Anthony Williams, but
you don't legally. You got to legally. You must.
How are you doing today, man?
Hey, I'm on top of the world, man. I invested heavily in COVID, so I'm rich now. I make most of my money through pandemics.
Okay.
Most of it through pandemics.
You know,
how y'all doing out there at the Geekset?
Oh,
y'all colors and Hispanics getting together talking about hipping and hopping music. You ain't no damn bunny. Stop your hipping and your hopping.
Man, so let's jump into it, because most people know and love the Uncle Ruckus character.
He's horrible.
Man, he is horrible, but he's like that horrible family member that you're like, it's Uncle Ruckus, man. One of the things that I learned, like doing the research and things like that, is like, I know that like you do a lot of improv. Improv is a huge part about you. When they were, and then you also auditioned for like pretty much all the male characters in Boondocks.
Yeah, I did.
So when it came down to Uncle Ruckus, what was the direction? And like, was this like an original improv character, or was it constructed with?
He was not improvised. So at that time, the Boondocks was in the comic strips,
yep.
In the newspapers, but it was not a TV show yet. So I knew the Boondocks well because I literally read all the comics and I had the books that Aaron Magruder had made.
Yep.
But there was no Uncle Ruckus in there yet. So I knew Granddad. I knew what I wanted him to sound like. I knew what I wanted Huey and Riley to sound like. I auditioned for all of them, and I knew what I wanted Tom to sound like. And then he said, well, here's a new character. And I took a look at him, man. He had them old busted old boots with a nail in it, like tight shirt.
Right.
And I saw his like self-loathing and his hatred of black people. And it instantly reminded me of like dudes that I grew up around, like that were friends of my daddy, like old black dudes who would come around the house and for no reason just didn't really like other black people, but they like my dad, like everybody liked Crow. Everybody liked my daddy. So it just reminded me of those dudes. So I just kind of took like an amalgam of all their voices in my head, man, and threw on my natural southern accent and lazy talk for him. Lord, how much that he don't give a shit by nobody but the white man. So I just took those dudes, I looked at how they told me, like, yeah, he's kind of just a big, slow-moving dude, but he has every job in the city. So I just wanted to make sure I made him sound big and heavy and a little bit lazy, but a whole lot hateful.
What's amazing about his introduction is his introduction sets the tone on what he is about. Right? And the fact that you wrote that song off the whim, like they was like, oh, we're gonna write it later.
You talking about Don't Trust the New Niggas over there? Yeah. So for your people who don't know, so in the script, the show was originally sold to, I think it was Fox, man. So we were doing a table read for Fox before we went in and recorded it. And in the little notes, it said Uncle Ruckus sings a song called "Don't Trust Those New Niggas Over There." And I talked to Aaron. I was like, "Do you mind if I improvise that?" He's like, "No, man, go ahead. We're gonna write it later, anyways." Right. So, and the fact that Aaron, he didn't know me that well yet, man. I mean, we hadn't even done a single episode yet, but he was like, "Yeah, go ahead and improvise it in front of the executives at Fox. Like, these are the people buying his show and paying him to make this."
Right.
So he's like, yeah, improvise it. So I literally improvised a song at the table read. And then afterwards, we go in to record the episode. And I was like, oh, so where's the new song? He's like, oh, no. We took your song that you wrote. Just go ahead. We wrote the lyrics down that you said. go ahead and redo that. And then if you want to add some more, add some more. So I just improvised the whole thing, and later they went back and added music underneath it. If you watch that episode, there's a key change because I was just doing it. There was no music.
Right.
I just wrote the melody in my head, and I just changed keys by accident in my head. So they wrote a whole key change into the whole.
That makes it even better though, because like you got to think, Uncle Ruckus is unpredictable. So that that's something that he would just kind of like throw out of the blue and anything like that. And you know,
it's beautiful, man. Aaron writes amazing stuff. Like his scripts are always amazing, and anybody he brings in on the writing team is always amazing. But what he does is different than most people in animation. Is he really lets you go off improv? He goes, you know, if you want to add something, he has never said don't change this at all ever. Like he knows he's written the bomb shit. I'll do the bomb shit, then I'll just add whatever I want to it. You know. So he's cool with that.
And you know what? It's funny because like I also got a chance to interview the homie Carl Jones, and he was saying the same thing, you know, about like how he ended up becoming magnificent and everything. Like, you know, he told me the story behind that and everything. I'm just like, man, I bet that writer's room was amazing because
it had to be. You know, I never got to be around it. I was only around it like on the fly when we would record. They'd let you improvise, and then they would just throw in stuff like, oh, what if? You know, it was that part was creative. So the writer's room had to be ridiculous.
Right.
Also, they worked hard as hell because they were churning out some great stuff.
What I wish that we got more of was those behind the scenes, because like there was like a few behind the scenes, and like so like you and Cedric Yarbo's relationship is hilarious.
Yeah. That's us.
I also love how it spills over in interviews, like just like like whenever y'all together, it's like a back and forth, kind of like a little battle that's going on. And
that's
like,
us. Every conversation we've ever had in our lives, like that's us. Like there's no lies in that relationship, man. We are always messing with each other. Always.
Yeah. And you can see it. It's very authentic. You can definitely see it. But you know what? The fact that you did, like you said, you ad-libbed and, you know, just improvised that song, that's also like, it kind of mirrors your start into doing voice work because,
no doubt,
you know, like you said that you were part of that improv group and you were just rapping on stage, and then you end up rapping for McDonald's. Like,
but you did your research.
Hey, man, let's hear the one thing. The one thing that I was like, you know what? If we're going to be a black podcast and we're going to be doing this, we're going to do our research. I'm going to make sure people understand, like, this is not no fly-by-night stuff. We got to represent.
You sound like a very well-spoken Negro and very well-read. Very well-spoken. Yeah, man. So I was down in Atlanta where I grew up. I was born in Atlanta, grew up in Fayetteville, Georgia, and I was part of this improv group called Laughing Matters. That's still there, still a dope group. And one of the heads of Laughing Matters was like, he heard me rapping. We were in the group together. We were rapping one night, and the next day he called me and was like, hey, I have this spot I've written. Will you come in and do it? And I went in and did this rap because he just heard me improvise rapping. Right. He had written one. I kind of helped him change it up. But he was responsible, like the guy who ran the studio, his name was Doug Paul, ran this place called Cat's Paw Studio. And he heard me and he was like, hey, if you do some free commercials for me, I will make you the best voiceover demo you will ever have. So I did a bunch of free spots, and I didn't have a lot of money then, man. Now I'm dependently wealthy. I'm dependently wealthy now. So I did him some free spots, and then for months, like he put together this dope demo that a lot of stuff on my demo now is still on there. And that was back in like 90, something like that, like long ago.
Man, that's dope. And you know, one of the biggest things that we do on this podcast, we make sure we give people their flowers while they're here. And not only for just the voiceover work, but as being a black person within this world, you are part of so much geek fandom. Like you've done voice work for the Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. You've done voice work for Star Wars. You've done voice work for Batman, Marvel, American Dad, like Black Dynamite, of course, the Boondocks. Like you you are voice acting royalty in the geek world, and that's
I'm no Phil Lamar. Hey, but let me tell you something.
that's what
Phil Lamar is dope.
No,
That
he's
dude's dope.
definitely is that.
Yeah.
He's on my he's another person on my wish list that if I can get in contact with, I would love to get on this platform.
I'll talk to him for you.
Let
Because let me just say and get this out of the way, and then I want to go back to that whole voice thing you're talking about.
Yep.
But me, Cedric Yarbrough, who you already mentioned,
Yep.
Phil Lamar, Danielle Gaither, Naima Funk, Jordan Black, who created this group, and this other Japanese chick named Karen Maruyama. We're all a part of this group called The Black Version.
Mm-hmm.
And like some of the most talented
yes
Black performers you literally gonna find around. But Phil Lamar, he's that dude. Like he does what I can't do. I cannot do impersonations. I make up original characters. That's my thing. Okay. But Phil Lamar can do that, but he does just ridiculous impersonations of everybody. Yeah. Of anybody. Yeah. If he can't do it now, call him 30 minutes from now, and he will be able to do it.
Yeah, he's definitely he's definitely has some iconic voices. Like I can't see.
No doubt.
I would never be able to see another Green Lantern outside of his voice. Like that's
he's fantastic. So with that in mind, on the Batman thing you mentioned, I did Batman Dark Knight. I think it was Dark Knight Rises.
Dark Knight Returns.
Mm-hmm. So I did that. I did parts 1 and 2. In the first one, I had a major role. I played. But at the same time I was doing that, I was doing this Batman cartoon, the TV cartoon. Yep. That Diedrich Bader was Batman. So as I'm doing Dark Knight Returns, I still think I'm doing an episode of this cartoon. That's how dumb I am. And I keep going, what's taking so long to do this cartoon? It's a 30-minute cartoon. Why am I? And they call me back, hey, Gary, you got a recording for Dark Knight Returns. I was like, what's wrong with this episode that I keep going in? Cut to the casting, the voice director. Her name is Andrea Romano, who also voice directs the Boondocks.
Okay.
She did in the day. A little white lady who's the best voice director I've ever met in my life. She calls me one day and goes, the movie comes out tomorrow. And I was like, what movie? She's like, Batman Dark Knight Returns. I was like, movie? That was a movie? She's like, yeah, what do you think you were doing? I was like, I thought I was doing an episode of the TV show the whole time. I had no idea what I was doing, man.
Yeah, because
I knew what I was doing, but I didn't know what I was doing.
Well, because the show was The Brave and the Bold. That was
exactly.
that was the Batman show that you were a part of.
So, but I just thought I was doing an episode of it, and like an episode that would never end.
It was
are y'all having writing problems? You want to talk to me? Let's talk about it. We can work it out together.
There's some beef in the writing.
Yeah.
What's going on?
Yeah.
Oh man, but then like I said, you got a whole ton of like video game work that you've done, and just like it's really dope. Like what I'm saying, just to see that representation, because we go to like these comic book conventions and we talk to a lot of these voice actors, and there's some people with heavy acting chops, but like outside of like like you said, outside of like Phil, and then probably like Kerry Payton, like he does a whole lot of voice acting work. He's Cyborg and the Teen Titans and everything like that. It's like you don't get to see a lot of Black individuals in that space, and I'm always about breaking barriers. That's why I love like the Black version of your improv group, because it's like, you know what, we're gonna do the Black version of that.
Exactly.
Like you guys did Silence of the Lamb, and it's just like it's super dope for those barrier breaking things.
Yeah. It's good to be in it, man. It's such a great part of the industry to be in too, because like you can look like whatever you look like and still be doing the job. Like say for instance in the Boondocks, I did Uncle Ruckus, but in each episode we do about 3 different characters a piece. So I played a lot of little kids. I played a lot of white news dudes. You got to play everything in there. In that list of voiceover people too is Cedric Yarbrough. Yep. Another male member of the Black version. He does a crap load of voice work as well. So it's dope to definitely be a part of that whole part of the industry that I didn't even really know existed when I first even thought about getting into acting. It's great to be a part of it. And like you said, like you don't see a lot of us represented. But when you are able to finally crack that little inner circle there, it's just amazing.
Yeah.
Kevin Michael Richards, he's another one. That dude is monster voice, It's fantastic.
Now you again going back to like your story and everything, like acting wasn't even something that you were intended on doing. It was a computer error, and then it just kind of flourished and everything.
A computer error in high school, man. I had signed up for I think it was like I was trying to get out of classes, I like signed up for some just whatever throwaway class, and I think I signed up for like lighting or something, just doing something. And it put me in an acting class, and I got in. I was like, I'll give it a week. And it was so much fun when I got in there, man. It was like ridiculous fun. I had a teacher named Robin Bennett. She directed all the plays there at Fayette County High School. Mm-hmm. And she is the one who got me into acting, like 100%. Yeah. No stop. She got me into acting, and she made me realize how fun it was. And still, I wasn't going to do it when I went to college. Like my brother Mike was like, "Oh, you're smart. Get into computers. They didn't want me to get hurt. They were like, you can't make money being an actor. Families try to protect you sometimes, but and luckily I don't listen to people. So I was like, So,
before that class and everything, like, everybody always has like their dreams and aspirations. What were you like? Was there anything that you were shooting for?
I never knew, man, because I would try something like biology, and it's like, oh, that's fun. I love learning about cells, or I always was interested in animals. As a kid, I'd open up the World Book Encyclopedia, and like I knew every dog in there. I knew every bird in there. I still love birds, man. Right. I'm a fucking bird nerd.
I know. I was going to get into that. You were like so here's a funny connection that me and you have, like when thinking about it. So you have been on a numerous amount of podcasts from Wisconsin, and so we are based out of Milwaukee, Wisconsin. I'm just like, I was like, wait, do we got family out here or something? Because you've been on like 3 or 4.
My writing partner and best friend just happens to be from Wisconsin.
Yeah,
but I have zero family. I didn't even know they made black people there. I didn't know they made y'all.
That's the two questions that we get all the time. When I tell somebody, they're like, "Where are you from?" I'm like, Milwaukee, Wisconsin. They're like, "What? There's black people out there?" And then they were like, "Wait, so like you like cows and beers and cheese?" I'm like, "Fam, it's a regular it's guns out here." Like, come on.
I just thought y'all all imported. I didn't know that they made you.
Yeah, no, born and raised here in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and everything. But I was listening to that podcast, The Brave and the Bold. No, not The Brave and the Bold. What's the podcast?
I don't know which one.
Because you was talking about birds with the Dark Forest.
Oh, the Dark Forest, yeah.
Dark Forest, with Jackie Kashan, and then you guys went in on those birds. You guys had a nice long segment about the birds.
Man, I love being outside, and it's probably from my daddy always telling me as a kid, get outdoors, get out there. And so I love being outside, and I love walking, man. And before COVID times, before my schedule changed, like I'd walk anywhere from 4 to 10 miles a day, and usually in LA, like up hills in the canyons and stuff. And so I just started looking at birds and going, what is that bird? What is that bird? I got real curious.
Yeah.
And my ex-wife at the time, she heard me talking about birds, and like one Christmas, she like bought me some bird books.
Right.
She knew I wasn't gonna walk in and ask for a bird book. That was the last thing I was about to do. Like, hey man, I need a picture. I need a book on birds. So then after that, every time I walk, I kind of write down what they look like. I didn't have one of those little nerd books.
Right.
I put it in my phone, like what they look like, so I could go look them up. And then I just got to know like most of the Southern California birds, man. And even now, like outside of my new house, there's a nest of Cooper's hawks, like right up on the phone pole, which is crazy. Like the dude, they mate. So the dude, and they pretty much mate for life. The dude will go kill something. He brings it to the top of my phone pole. He makes a certain sound. The female hears him. She swoops in. He leaves. Like he goes and hunts for her every morning when they have babies. He leaves. She eats. He doesn't eat till after like his woman is eating, and she's big. And birds of prey like hawks and eagles and stuff, the females are bigger the females are bigger than the males. So
Okay.
she's the big one. He feeds her, and then she goes off and takes care of the babies. But it's crazy to watch their relationship. Like every day, several times a day, he brings her food. He yells for her. She comes over. He gets the fuck out of there when she comes. And it's like I watch them like every day feeding each other, man.
The animal kingdom is just—it's so simple. If the world and the life was all like the animal kingdom, it was so simple. It was just like the male does male shit and the woman does women shit.
Unless you're in the bonobo monkeys. Okay. Now the bonobo monkeys, man, we about to get into this. Hey, these bonobos, the bonobo monkeys is a matriarchal monkey society. The women run everything.
Okay.
They are also very peaceful. Before they fight, they make love. Okay. Like before they eat, they make love. Like nothing happens until the woman is satisfied. Like, no, we're not about to fight. We're about to fuck. I'm gonna fuck the fight out of you. It's done. Like all of that. The bonobos, man.
Bonobo. I don't even know what a bonobo monkey is.
And here's the crazy part about the bonobos.
Oh, that's the monkey that was going against Caesar in Planet of the Apes. Those them type of monkeys.
Well, let me say this about them type of monkeys. Because it really would have been like, he's not that violent because they don't handle things. They don't handle things fighting. Like, he may have been about to give Caesar a blowjob. Because the other thing about the bonobos is it's not male and female. It's male and female. Might be male and male. Might be female and female. Like, they do not care. Like, they're just all about, we're going to do this and we're not going to fight and then we're going to eat. Yeah. And they do it all day long.
Wow.
Anyways, hi, good morning.
All right, so getting back into some of the acting and everything like that. Yeah. So I am amongst the few that thought Soul Plane was a good movie because I still love Soul Plane. And I know a lot of people, like Kevin Hart, he always jokes on it and it's always a joke. But like to me, like I laughed so hard watching Soul Plane, and the cast is I feel like I was like, because at that time Kevin Hart was still getting his chops. I was like, they legit should, because I know the Boondocks did the Soul Plane too, but I was like, they should legit revisit it now with the star power that you guys have now. I think that it would be a different perspective and a different view of Soul Plane, because the premise was funny, the cast was funny. Like, I think it'll be hilarious.
Yeah. I still don't know. I haven't watched it since way back in the day. I rarely watch anything that I do. Once I do it, I watch it once and then that's it. I don't go back and watch stuff. But the craziest part about Soul Plane, man, is spoof. Like, just like a straight up black spoof is supposed to be basically the black version of Airplane. Yeah. But it's a spoof. So they had these writers called the triplets on set rewriting as we were shooting.
Okay.
It was Scott, Wesley, and Freddie. They were the triplets. And they were rewriting as we were shooting this thing. So my first day of rehearsal, I'm rehearsing with Sofia Vergara and Angel Conwell, and with the 3 flight attendants, and we're rehearsing this dance scene. And they came in and said, hey, Gary, after this, you got to go shoot a scene. And I was like, I don't even start shooting till next week. I'm just doing dance rehearsal. No, 2 weeks. I was like, I don't know any lines, guys. It's not time for me to start yet. And they go, well, they'll write you something on set, or you can improvise it. Like, what are you talking about? I was like, that's this kind of movie? So I still don't know how to watch that movie and decide if it's good or not. It was fun while we were shooting it. Yeah. That's for sure. But I don't know. I don't know if it's good. I got to read.
That's a wild.
It is what I've never. Yeah, go ahead, man.
No, I was gonna say that's a wild way to shoot a movie to me. Like me not being in the movie industry, just looking in certain things you see, unless it's an improv like show, then you expect that it's just going to be a script, and then, you know, they'll let you go because I know, like I said, going back to the Carl Jones interview that I had, he was telling me like when Samuel L. Jackson would be there, and he was like, I forgot who he was saying, maybe the voice director, but he was saying that she wanted to give Samuel L. Jackson some tips on a line, and he said that she was like, it was the robbery scene, and that he said that Samuel Jackson told her like, have you ever robbed the store before? And then he was like, because if you gonna rob, because he said she was trying to tell him to slow down his pace, and he was like, no, if you are in a robbery, you got to have some sense of. So like I'm thinking of that outside
of urgency,
right? Sense of urgency. Like, so outside of improv, you would think that it would be scripted, but it seems like you flourish the best when you get to improv.
Yeah.
Because that's like where you come
I
from.
love it, man. I shot a pilot a few years ago that never. Yeah, I shot a pilot. Well, my first professional jobs were actually Shakespeare and improv. Like those are the things I got paid for to do first. But I shot a pilot a couple of years ago in New York, man, with David Schwimmer, and it was all improvised to the point where they would go, I would say, so what are we shooting tomorrow? And they'll go, we'll tell you in the van when we pick you up in the morning. Like I never knew what I was doing the next day, and that was fantastic. Yeah. If I had a job like that every day, I just shot some Reno 911s. They came back, and it's all improvised. You know? If I had a job like that every day, then I'm happy. Like I'd love to never learn another line.
Well, and it also helps that, like you said, most of your characters are not are like original voiced characters. Like they're not really based off of too much, you know, stuff. So it gives you that freedom to really, really like just create the character and create, and you know, and be yourself. And I think that that's really dope because, you know,
at the same time, you know, I'm sorry. At the same time, no, I'm not disrespecting a writer. If they've written something that they really want to hear and do, then I'm definitely down for that. And some stuff, like there's no reason to improvise. Sometimes they've already written all the fun stuff that I'm going to play. Or if it's in a world that they know so much about, like if I do a video game and it's, you know, very technical, you know, and they know so much more about that world than I do, then I'm definitely going to let their words speak. I'm not going to. You know,
well, no, that makes sense because most voice actors that I've seen, they say like what they'll do is like they'll do it exactly how it's written. But then if they're you know really feeling that character, they're like, hey, can we do a take and let me improv? So it's like I'm gonna do what you said, not to disrespect you, but I also want to try this. And then like it's just like the you know the director or the editor, they pick which one came out the best or has the you know most like, you know, voice to it and everything. So I think that's really dope. Yeah, because like, because again, with you being part of certain fandoms like that, like there are some that have like, okay, this character got to be like this, but when you get to expand it, I think that's where it really shines.
Absolutely. The what you just said about doing one their way and then one your way on camera, a lot of times I will do the opposite. If I know I'm in a place where people don't mind, like I'm shooting a new show for Netflix right now called The Crew.
Yep.
And with that,
James, right?
With Kevin James, yeah. With that, I usually do my take before I do theirs. Just because, especially our first day of shooting a live show, Kevin James said the words to me and the rest of the cast. He was like, guys, we can loosen this up if you want. And you say that to me, and it's like, yes, that's what I want to do. So now I know, like, on that set, we have the freedom. And there's this director, Andy Fickman, who is just maybe the best comedy director I've ever met in my life, too. Yeah. That dude loves to play around, you know. Yeah. So I usually do my take before a lot of times before I do theirs, because the writers know I'm going to get back to their stuff,
right?
But then I'm going to still throw it out.
I feel like when it's comedy, I think it seems like most comedy is going to be a little bit more loose. Like Kevin James, he's part of that like Adam Sandler crew, so I'm sure like you know they at that point just like you know let's just go, you know. And so I feel like comedy is going to have a little bit more of that because you guys are the comedic professionals. So it's
but it's funny. A lot of it just depends on the show too, man. It depends on the person up top. Like the people up top of that show, like Kevin James, he's that loose kind of dude. He likes to play around. Cedric the Entertainer, I did his show, The Soul Man and the Neighborhood. He likes to play around. Cedric the Entertainer and Kevin James are similar in one way. They do not mind if somebody comes on their show and really cuts up. Like, they applaud people coming in there and heightening shit. Some people don't want that. Some people go, no, that dude's the lead, so he gets all the funny stuff. You get the second funny stuff. You know, they do the big dog eats first. Those dudes go like, everybody's eating.
Right.
So you go ahead, take your hunk off, and like, they just encourage that stuff, man. Cedric the Entertainer encourages you to be as funny as you can be on this show.
That's dope.
A lot of people are not like that, man.
Yeah, you know, and that's dope. You know what I would think? I mean, I guess, like you said, it comes down to like what the show is and how confident the comedian is within himself. Because then you have that, like, everybody knows that person who, like, we're in the same field, but they don't want the other person to shine more than them. Like, everybody has those stories, but the ones who are truly great are the ones that allow other people to be great around them, because then everything becomes amazing.
The whole show becomes great. And like, Cedric is never going to be bad. He's always going to be great. Like, he ain't worried about him. He's like, they ain't about to give this show to Gary. This is my show, and we all going to have fun on it.
Yeah. Hey, I want to talk to you today about GeeksetPodcast.com, the only place that blends hip-hop culture and geek culture together in one place, and the only place to get your official Geekset swag. Go to our shop and view our wide selection that we offer, from the No Dubs collection, Big Bit Tees, Talking That Geek-ish, and more. Today, use code Deuces during checkout to get 10% off your next purchase. Then, take a picture and post it on Instagram using the hashtag Geekset for a chance to be featured on our page and a chance to win extra deals in the future. So don't hesitate. Drop by the website today. Listen to our latest episode, watch our latest videos, read our latest reviews, and shop with your favorite geeks. GeeksetPodcast.com.
Yeah.
Now, one of the things that I thought, and because listening to some of like your interviews and stuff like that, like you say, like haters a lot of the times motivate you. Now, you had an instructor who was teaching you improv who told you, like, "Hey man, you might as well quit. This ain't for you." Have you ever have you ever ran back into him and be like, "Hey, I thought it wasn't for me, man"? I've
only even mentioned his name once. I've never done it. I've never said to him, "Hey man, remember that time you said it wasn't for me? Would you like to look at my checks?" I've never.
You just like just start prank calling him with different improv voices. just different improv of yours. Just keep on prank calling them.
By the way, this is what you told me I would never do. No, I've never done it because I guess in the long run, it didn't make me. If it had made me mad, then I think I would want to get even with him. Okay. It didn't even make me mad. It made me go, "Oh, come on, dude.
Right.
Come on. You ain't know me." I guess if it had angered me, I would really be like, "Screw you, man. Look, this is what I did."
Now, you've also had the pleasure of working with so many legends within the game. Like, we already talked about a few, but like just in general, working with Dave, working with John Witherspoon, just so many people. I mean, you know, like
Chappelle was the best, like the kindest. Like, there are very kind people in this industry. I haven't met anybody kinder. I've met some equally kind people. I've never met anybody as kind as David Chappelle. Yeah. He's just a terrific human being, and he's brilliant. He's brilliant and funny and caring, like everything that, you know, a human being should want to be, you know. Fantastic dude. Mark Hamill is another dude, man. That dude is just, the first time I met him, did not know who he was at all. Like, did not tie together, "Oh, we have the same voiceover agent." Didn't tie together, "Oh, that's Mark Hamill," ever. Yeah. Just used to like cutting the shit, you know, shooting the shit with some dude in the waiting room every morning. Didn't know it was him. And somebody mentioned him one day. And then I was like, "Dude, I'm so sorry. I didn't know." He's like, "Whatever." And he was this kind of dude. He was like, and once we became friends, he was like, "If you have any friends who or family who needs some Star Wars stuff signed, just let me know and I'll sign." Like, he would just sign. He was like that kind guy. He's like, he would just, because he knew how much it meant to people, and that's like a little sacrifice to him, you know.
You know what's funny? Like just recently, so on Twitter, he had posted like a meme towards Donald Trump, like, "Oh, so you decided to retweet this?" And I was like, in my head, I feel like the Joker even looks at Trump like, this motherfucker's crazy. And then so he retweeted it and liked it. And I'm just like, see, that's why I like when people can like, you know, have that sense, because even the voice actor that does Lisa Simpson, there was a debate in the geek world, right? That is about like, if Lisa and Huey had a debate, who would win that debate?
Oh, wow.
And so like I was like,
wow.
let's ask the people. And I tagged her and Regina King, and she was like, well, it depends on what they debating about. And like we had a good like back and forth. But I was like, I love the people who can like love their characters enough that they can engage in these type of geek conversations and everything.
Yeah. I would love that debate with Lisa and Huey.
That'll be an amazing debate.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I would love it.
And that's what one of the things that I love about the internet and technology now is that's the type of something like just that conversation would be something that somebody would like, let's just knock out a quick short on YouTube real quick. Between them two, and then it becomes a thing that's just living in the world. And it was such a dope, because I, you know, for my podcast, I try to make sure that I'm amongst, you know, the community. So like I talk to a lot of the people in the geek world, and I kept on seeing this debate between people, and I'm like, well, how come nobody's including the people? I was like, let's try to see if the people can chime in. And I thought that was pretty dope. You know,
Regina might be the busiest woman.
I know.
Kamala Harris is second to Regina in business right now. She is doing everything. She is directing things. I just saw her in a car commercial, and she was not only the actress in it, but like she's directing the car commercial too. Like she is killing it.
It's funny because it took the Boondocks for people to realize that. Like people, we always knew that she was like, you know, a black actor royalty. But when we found out that she was the voice of both, you know, then hearing the stories of how like first season, she would do separate takes, but then she evolved. She was just doing them in the moment, bouncing
back to back, talking to herself.
And so, I think people at that point start like, whoa, like she's like
talented.
Upper echelons right here. And I was like, that is super dope as hell, man. And you know, and that's another reason why the Boondocks was so dope to the culture, because one, it was that comic strip that meant so much, but then it was like the amount of black talent that was on that show and how relevant it was to the culture. And that's why, like, I've always had conversations with people about why the Boondocks is like, you know, a lot of people try to compare it to like South Park and everything. I was like, the difference, and this is the biggest difference, is that when you watch the Boondocks, it's not just tongue-in-cheek comedy. There's a balance. It's a, you know, I was like, Huey and Riley is the best representation of the balance, because it's you know, it's how, you know, the typical nigga would think. That's be like how Riley would be, you know, I want my chain, and you know, hip hop. But then you got the super woke person who like, and it's like there's always an underlying message to it. And you know, and I said that's why that show meant so much, because outside of the comedy, when you start taking up the layers and looking into the layers of the show, it was a brilliant creation.
Aaron didn't do it just, I mean, like he's a social commentator, you know. So and another very well-read, smart dude, you know. He's got a message in his head. He's got beliefs in his head. He's got messages. Like it's not, it is fun and games, but it's not all fun and games. Like everything means something in that show. You know, you get to take the layers of it that you want, you know, but it's real. It's all based in some real grounded stuff.
Like just that's why Granddad and Uncle Ruckus relationship was always so dope, because like I said, that's Granddad view, like Uncle Ruckus was Uncle Ruckus, but Granddad viewed Uncle Ruckus as like family, like let me go get Uncle Ruckus again.
Exactly.
One thing about your presence on shows, just in general, because like you've been part of some like dope shows like Malcolm in the Middle and things like that. You are one of those people that when we see you, we like, oh, this is about to be hilarious. Because like I during the pandemic, I'm like, all right, let me just try some stuff, because I'm like, I got to try some shows. We're sitting down, we ain't got much to do. So I started diving into I'm Sorry.
I love that show, man.
That show is I every time I tell somebody, I'm like, it's like Curb Your Enthusiasm, but with a woman as the main character and her family. I was like, This show was amazing, and I love everything about it.
Yeah, that show is dope. So that's Andrea Savage.
Yeah.
So did you hear the story of how I met her? You may have,
No.
because you seem to know every damn thing. Uh,
This one I don't know.
There's this coffee spot in LA where I used to write there every day. And before I had an office, me and my writing partner used to we literally use it as our office, man. We hired people out of there. We get hired out of there. So anyways, years ago, I meet this girl who used to write there every day. She'd sit in the corner. We became buddies. And one day she goes, "Hey, I wrote a pilot. And I'm writing a pilot and I'm going to put you in it." Like we were just like, we never acted together, anything. We just knew each other from there, like cutting each other up all the time. I was like, "Oh, okay, whatever." And then next time I saw her there, she goes, "I did it. I sold the pilot. We're going to shoot it." It's like, what? So we shot the pilot of I'm Sorry. And then a few weeks later, a little longer than that, like I'm there and she goes, "Good news, right?" And I was like, "What are you talking about?" She goes, "Stop screwing around." Like, "What do you mean?" She's like, "We sold the pilot. We're making a series. Your agent didn't tell you?" I was like, "What?" And I called my agent and they were like, "Yeah, there's this other show you're up for. So we wanted to make sure that everything's going to work out." And like, so like literally because I met her at that spot and we became friends, she just like, "I'm going to put you in my show." And that's how we did it. So in that show, like it's all scripted, but she would, especially with me and her, after we would shoot a scene, then she'd go, "Let's do a fun run." And then we would just do an entirely improvised scene of whatever she'd written, you know.
Yeah, no,
she's, as you can see, she is stupid funny, man, and raw, hilarious. Like unapologetic, you know?
Hilarious, bro. And so that's like not really looking too much into that show about like just the inception of it. So like those coffee shop scenes of her actually writing the scripts and stuff like that, that's truly based off of her life.
Everything, like in the very first season, every one of those stories, I believe, was a story from her life. She would add a little to it, like the I think was the first one about the porn star that was at her kid's kindergarten. And the porn star thought that Andrea had told everybody she was an anal porn star. That really happened at her kids' preschool. Like there was a porn star going there. Word got out that she was a porn star, and everybody thought Andrea had told. She's like, "I would never tell that somebody's a porn star." One of my favorite episodes about the racist kid, like her daughter suddenly, she's like, "Oh my God, I think my daughter's racist. Let me get her to talk to this black guy and fix her," you know? Like that was all real. Her daughter came home and said she didn't want to play with somebody because of the color of her skin. But then a couple of weeks later, it's like, "Oh no, we're best friends now." Like, what? No, I was mad at her about something.
Right, something else. So, you know what's funny? So as I'm a military brat. And my dad was in the, so we were stationed in Hawaii, and one of my first friends ever I remember was a white kid, right? This white girl. I can't remember her name, but I remember her mom and my mom was really cool. So I just remember one time we're going home, like we were playing outside, but then we went home, and when my mom and her mom is sitting there chilling and they're talking, and then she runs in, and she says, "Mommy, I met a friend. His name is Rudy, but he's dirty." She thought my skin was dirt.
Hey, you need to wash yourself, Rudy.
She thought that my skin was dirt. And so, like when I saw that episode, it cracked me up because I just start thinking about that. Like, probably thought the same. Because like kids, they take the most simplest thing. They're like, "Well, look, my skin is this. That's brown. Oh, dirt is brown. That's what it is."
But it doesn't mean that much to them unless somebody like she just thought, "Hey, I got a new friend. He's dirty, but I got a new friend." Like that was the important part to her. Yeah, you dirty, Rudy. But still, you are her friend. You know? This little girl at that same coffee shop, man. There's this tiny little girl who works there. And one day I'm in there and she loved me, this little girl. And one day she was drawing in the corner and she brings me this little white chick. And she brings me this thing. She's like 7 at the time, maybe. Right. She brings me this little card that she made me. She's like, "Gary, you're the darkest person, so I made you the darkest award." Like to her, it was the best thing. I made you an award. And to me, Dude, I put that on I put that everywhere. I put it on my Instagram, my Facebook. Like I have one. Like to her, like what mattered was I'm her friend, and also as a bonus, I'm the darkest person here. So she's gonna give me something. Like there's it's an innocence to that type of thing. That
Right.
you know.
And it's fun that you didn't blow up at that, because that could scar somebody. That can.
Oh, I hit her. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. I made it sound like everything ended well. I hit her and I burned the place down. But in that moment,
Oh man! All right, so we do have a few fan questions that I did want to throw at you, because we do poll some of our Patreons and everything. So shout out to them. I know that like I said, the Boondocks was slated to come back, and I know COVID and then the unfortunate passing of John Witherspoon. And I know you probably can't tell too much, but is that still scheduled to?
I think some stuff I can say because it's still out in the trades, but I can say that I have been doing the Boondocks episodes.
Okay.
Like I've recorded several, and I know that's in the trade, so I know I can say that much. There's literally a lot of stuff I don't know. For real.
Okay.
If there was something that I'm not allowed to talk about, I can do that too. But this isn't one of those cases. Like there's stuff I don't know. Mm-hmm. I don't know exactly where we are. I do know that in the last couple of months, I have definitely been I've definitely been Uncle Ruckus in it.
I know.
And I don't know that what I don't know is like there's stuff about Witherspoon. I don't know that character. There's stuff about the whole world. There's plenty of stuff that as far as I know is up in the air, and I'm just trying to be impatient and waiting to see how things are really going to land.
Okay.
But I think it's safe to say, since it was in the trades, in the newspapers, online as well, that I've definitely been working on the Boondocks.
Okay, well, that's good to hear, because I know that like it was excitement around it, and then like once the world starts slowing down, everybody's like
and that's it. Like with COVID too. Like fortunately, the people can't see, but I'm sitting beside a big booth right here where I'm able to record all of my stuff at my house, man. So, so I'm able to keep working on stuff like that, but everybody is not in that fortunate situation, and so it's changed the industry. It's changed everything. Voiceover is still able to go.
Well, that's and most of the people, like the creative that I talk to, like the animators, a lot of people who do the voice work, and it's just like other people who do like independent content creation, condolences to everybody who've lost their life with COVID and everything like that. But a lot of people is like, you know what? This has allowed me, like even writers, they're like, this has allowed me to sit down and whatever that project that I was putting off, I was able to focus on it, or that voice work that I wasn't able to do, or I'm still able to do so. And it's like it let
a lot of people see if they're really liars. It's like, man, I'm gonna write a book, and then COVID hit. You didn't write your book. Right. You're not writing a book. You had all the time in the world to write a book. If you didn't do it during COVID, you're not gonna write a book.
Are you ever gonna do a book, like a autobiography or something?
I don't know about an autobiography. I'm kind of boring, but I
beg to differ, man.
I have a couple, but hey man, don't start in on me. I have during COVID, I had a 14-day lockdown, man, where I was going back to finish shooting a TV show in New York, and for 14 days I had to stay literally in my hotel room. Like, can't leave the room, can't go into the hallway, can't go outside at all. So during that time, I finished a couple of kids' books that I'd been working on for a long time, like all in rhyme. I love rhyme. That's why I love hip hop and I love freestyle.
Man, that's what I'm saying. You seem like you got some music chops in this world.
No, yeah, I'm the best freestyler in the world. So I did finish a couple of those books, and me and my girlfriend are working on a cookbook right now. I'm a vegan. She's not, but mostly we cook vegan.
Yeah, so you used to call yourself the biggest vegan,
the fattest vegan in the world.
But then you lost 150 pounds, so
a little over that, yeah, man. So, probably close to 160, 170.
So somebody probably got your title. Somebody. There's somebody in California that is hanging onto that title, like, I beat Gary Anthony Williams.
Yeah, he won. He won. Look, when somebody wins, I got to give it up to him. I'm still fat on the inside. I'm still.
One of my friends, he said that he lost a whole bunch of weight as well, and he said, man, it's funny. He's like, I look at food, and I'm still fat when I look at food. I look skinny, but like I want all that food.
But that was my thing, man. I was never a big overeater. It was just what I was eating. So I went on this diet plan that I called. This book I probably will write, and it was before keto and stuff hit. But I called it the White is Evil plan. So it's like I just cut out all the white stuff, man. Bread, rice, pasta, sugar, white potato. I just cut all that stuff out, and then the weight just started coming off like crazy.
That's dope.
So it wasn't even about amounts I was eating. It was just what I was eating. Yeah. That was it. It was nuts.
So, I always ask everybody that's in just in general, just a working actor, voice actor, and is there a role that you like, you know what, that's my white whale, that's my Moby Dick, that's the role that I would want to get at all?
I don't think, for me, not really. For me, I like the idea of the variety that I get to do. Mm-hmm. I don't have one thing that I'm going, man, I would really like to play blank, or I'd really like to do a movie about blank. Like I'm writing a movie right now. It doesn't even star me. But I'm writing a movie right now, but if there was one of those, I would sit down with my writing partner and we would create that for me.
Okay.
So I don't really have that. I don't really go through life or my career in that way. Okay. I love the variety. I'm doing a couple of brand new cartoons that I guess will probably be out next year. Right now that I'm like super excited about them, but there's not like a dream project that I have that I feel like I really need to do.
All right, that makes sense. All right, so we have 2 more segments that we do, and then we'll wrap up. Yep. We do a segment called Top 5. I try to give a little fun one, and then just one that's a little bit more serious. So one of the top 5s are like top 5 people that Uncle Ruckus admires.
Oh, first of all, I don't know if there's 5 of them out there in the world, but I'll tell you right now, and this man is 5 people in one. Our Lord and Master Donald Trump. Can't nobody, but first of all, he's the smartest man in the world. He know more about electricity than anybody. He know about wind power more than anybody else. He know about wars. He know about peace. He know about making love and grabbing women by the poontang more than anybody else. He know about science and curing diseases. If it wasn't for Donald Trump, people would be dying in America today of COVID. But ain't nobody dying because he done fixed it. That's number 1, Donald Trump. What other person do I admire? What other person does Uncle Ruckus admire? That's it. That's him. Donald Trump, and secondly, I guess, any white man. Any white man is 10 times better than the best black man you will ever meet. White people, there's something about them, they got an aura to them. I don't know if you know how Dr. Scholl's invented them air cushion insoles. Yeah. White people don't even need them. They just walk about 3 inches above the ground at all times. They just floating on their own excellence. That's it. Donald Trump and any white man.
All right. I appreciate that. That's so amazing. I love how you can just turn it on and off, man.
I live with this dude.
All right. So now, like, this is more serious, but in general, for you in life, what are some things that inspire you, just in general? What gets you going?
Good people. I believe in good people. Good people are kind of my religion. Mm-hmm. My son inspires me.
That's dope.
He's one of the brightest people I know, and he doesn't really put a limitation on his brain and how his brain works. And he knows that his brain doesn't work exactly like everybody else's, but he would never brag about it, but he would go about his business like creating amazing things. He inspires me greatly. He keeps me going. And like I said, joy. I am in an eternal search for joy. I like being happy. I like seeing other people happy. I don't feel like it's my job to go out and make other people happy, but making other people happy makes me happy. Sometimes people after a show will come up and go, "Oh man, I enjoyed your show." That's great that they did. I actually didn't do it for them. I did it because it brings me joy. That's what keeps me going. That always searching for joy.
Dope. And
really keeps me going more than anything else.
That's dope. And then so the last thing I always ask, recommendations. So it could be something that you're watching, something that you're reading, something that you're listening to, but something that you think that our listeners and viewers would take value from. Something that you can recommend.
Wow. That's a good question. And I only during COVID did I really start watching any TV at all. Like I wasn't watching anything, man. So I started watching some, I'm watching the Queen's Gambit right now.
Oh man, that looks so interesting. I haven't dived into it yet.
It's about chess, and I can't even imagine why I would watch a show about chess, but this actress is just fantastic. Yeah. There's not a lot. I'm usually like out trying to create something most days. So there's not a lot in my chamber like that. Like I gotta recommend this thing or that.
Okay, well, then I got another question. Then we'll end it with this question. If you can make a buddy cop project with two characters of yours, any character, whether it's acting or animation,
a buddy cop project with two of my guys.
Yep. Who will be the two guys?
Wow. Let me think about it. Definitely, I got to do Uncle Ruckus and everything. I'm sorry. It's got to be him. Wow. Who would be the other one? Oh, there's a new character I'm playing. I can't even say what it is yet.
Well, here's what we'll do.
Dang it.
We'll put Uncle Ruckus and new character coming.
Yeah, there's a new character you're going to see very soon. But I can't even say what it is, but he's on the other side of Uncle Ruckus. He's like super cartoony, off the wall kind of dude that will pair fantastically.
Now, because I do my research, is this the project that you're working on with Carl Jones?
No.
Okay.
It's not. Good job.
I do my research, man.
Yeah.
Well, lastly, man, where can my people find you, man? Where can people find you at?
A couple of places, my dear friend. On Instagram. Well, first of all, you can come to my house because I do not lock the doors. I will not lock them. On Instagram at Gary Anthony Williams. On Twitter at Gary A. Williams. And since Trump's not in office anymore, really, it used to be I was just mad at him all the time on there. So now there'll be other stuff that I'm not just pissed off at him. So those two places. And then if somebody needs something on Cameo, I'm over there slumming on Cameo. Nice. Only thing anybody ever wants is Uncle Ruckus on there. Hey man, would you cuss out my neighbor for me? Yeah, whatever. Yeah, I'm good with that. So in those places, man, and then when live performing is back. Two other things is the Black version. If you get a chance to check out anything from the Black version, theblackversion.com is the website. And I have a podcast with a buddy of mine called Day Drinking with Gary and Elliot.
Oh man, that's what we're doing right now.
So we got old episodes up now and new episodes. There's a new deal going on where we'll be doing some new episodes very, very, very soon.
All right, man. Well, again, man, I truly, 100% appreciate your time, man. This was an amazing interview. I've been Young Deuces. This has been the amazing Gary Anthony Williams, and we are out.
Peace.
You like that video? Man, thank you for watching. We truly appreciate it. We got so many more videos on our page, so make sure you check them out over here. Hit that subscribe button and tap that notification bell so that way you can always be notified anytime we release a new video. You already know how Geekset get down. We got so much coming for y'all, man. Check it out. Stay in tune.
There was a time where hip-hop culture and geek culture were at odds.